Good morning. Hmm. All right, so this is the first time I've ever gone live from my computer because my phone does not work right at all. And I couldn't shake the feeling that I needed to go live this morning and share kind of what the Lord was speaking to me about. And it was something, so a friend of mine sent me an excerpt from a book, and it said that wounds need space and grace, but once they heal, you have a scar. And the scar is your story, and the scar is your testimony. And if I told you how many times I've been so angry and so resentful to the Lord for um kind of allowing me to go through things and kind of being like, I don't need another testimony. Like, I don't need another blah, blah, whatever. But I was thinking last night about Jesus's scars, and I was thinking about the story of Thomas, how which is in John. I had it tagged for you guys, but let me see. It's the story in John 20, and it starts in 24. John 20:24. And Thomas is like, I'm not gonna believe, the resurrection had happened and Jesus came back from the dead, and his disciples were like, oh, we saw Jesus. And Thomas was like, I'm not gonna believe it until I see it, like till I see his scars. That is such a significant thing because there are going to be some people that are not going to believe that healing is possible, that resurrection is possible, that new life is possible. There are people that are not going to believe it unless they see your scars. So people, I've talked about it before, and people will say, well, nobody needs another recovery story. Nobody needs another, testimony about this or testimony about that. Like, nobody needs another, but there are going to be things in your life that are going to speak to others that they're going to hear differently than they heard from the other person that was talking about it. Like, it's going to be your frequency. I've talked about that before. When you're going through things and the wounds are fresh, yes, you need time to heal, you need grace, you need space, you need those things, but don't let your story die. Like, talk to people about it. I've talked about this in lives before. Like, if you're going through something and you see somebody else that's going through that, connect with them. And look, it may not be right away because things do need time. Like, your family goes through things with you, so your family has to heal. But just like that story of Thomas not believing, like Jesus's scars was something that he could relate to. These are real. I can touch these, I can feel these, I can see these. Our scars are our testimony. Our scars are our story. They're what make the Lord real in our lives when we can walk through things. And then people are like, wait a minute, you walked through that and you're still alive? Or you walked through that and you're still like talking about the Lord? You still love the Lord? Like, how is that possible? Some people are not going to believe it until they see it. And to some, this may make sense, and to some, this may sound like nonsense, but you've got something inside of you, something you've healed from, something God's delivered you from, something God is doing in you that is going to be your story. It's going to be your scar. There's going to be some Thomases out there. They're going to need to see that. So, how does the enemy stop us from sharing our story? Is that he keeps us in a place of shame and condemnation, which is not of God at all. Okay. Keeps us in a place of being completely just overwhelmed with all of the bad things that we've done, that we just silence. We isolate. We self-destruct because we can't talk about this. I don't preferably AA or NA. It works for some people, but the beauty of those types of groups, or any type of groups, my new life now, any type of group, is that you're going and you're sharing your story with people who need to hear about recovery. They need to hear about being set free. They need to hear those things because they do not understand otherwise that it is possible. Because when you're walking through something, it seems like the end of the world. I mean, dear, I'm like, oh, I'm so mad at God. Like, I've taken God to foot. Like, I probably shouldn't. He could just strike me down right now. But I have screamed and I've hollered and I've been so angry. God, why won't you just take this from me? God's like, no, that's your story. That scar is your story. And you're going to tell it. And you know what? If you don't tell it, what happens? Nothing. But if you tell it, you never know who you're going to reach. You never know who's going to hear that story and they're going to be like, if April did that, then I could do that. Or if so and so did that, then I could do that. And look, it doesn't mean you don't fall again. It doesn't mean that things aren't going to happen again. Sometimes you're going to get beat up in life. I love that song by Toby Mac that says this world's going to leave some battle scars. There's going to be some scars. Jesus's scars are what show that resurrection power is real. It's his scars that make his testimony. And guess what? He still has those scars in heaven. Why? Because we're going to walk through things and go through things and it's going to hurt. And while it's hurting, you're not going to be able to imagine ever sharing it with people. But when you begin to heal, God brings you to a place of healing. It is our duty as followers of Christ to share our testimony, because every time that you share your story, every time that you share your testimony, you're speaking that back in to the earth. You're speaking that back into the atmosphere, and God just does something all over again. So let your family heal. Let yourself heal. That's okay. Let the Lord heal you. But for the love of all that is holy, do not let your testimony die with you, because it could be the very thing the Holy Spirit uses to set somebody else free. That's what I got for you this morning. Messy bone and everything. I love you guys. And y'all have a wonderful day. Bye.